Hey YouTube, it's me, Crescendo, and I recently finished one of my sketch pads. Let's look at some sketches over my morning cappuccino. So, this is a bit of a cheat because I started the sketch pad before I started doing the sketch play showing quicks. So about half of the sketch pad was already done before I started doing the video series. So you're going to see some stuff that was not drawn during the series. Starting with this one. Oh yeah, these were some drawings from a painting series I was going to work on that I never really got around to. Called "We're Losing Our Heads," and it's always going to be like kind of people with their heads or limbs severed by the frame. Like this was going to be two canvases, and then with a frame in between them. So the body would be severed from the head by the frame. Maybe it's something I'll revisit in the future, though. These apparently cut out a lot of pages here. I think they were client work that I ended up cutting out to take pictures of. This is also client work. It's for a children's book about a slave who was the inspiration for Uncle Tom's Cabin, whose name was Josiah. Apparently he escaped from slavery and ran across the border to Canada, where he became a priest and started a school and did all this really cool stuff. It was a nice project to work on. Must have done about 15 illustrations for that. There were a couple more drawings from that Josiah book. Here's another few more from the Josiah book. There are some drawings for beer. There's a golden ale called Golden Soria. It was made for Vatsanak beer. I had done the logo and the beer tap for it, and the can wrap actually as well. And these were the kind of initial drawings of the logo. And we ended up actually going with this one. Maybe I'll put the actual finished logo on the screen here while I'm talking. It was a fun project to work on. I always like working with beer because I like beer. A couple more drawings for the Josiah book. A few more for the Josiah book. Some more for the Josiah book. These all went into the book. But here we go, the first drawing that I made for this series, Sketch Play Show and Quick. And this one was kind of inspired by those old 60s sci-fi posters, you know, where they have usually like the kind of dominant figure and the back has kind of a floating head of the final boss of the antagonist of the film. Then I had this idea, maybe I was just thinking a little bit too much Frank Frazetta and barbarian drawing, so. And this is one of those days when I had no real singular direction for what I wanted to draw, so I ended up drawing a lot of stuff. This one obviously inspired by, if you know the movie From Beyond. I think was really inspired by a lot of the old Japanese horror manga I used to read when I was a kid, especially this one called Horobi. And I feel like they always had similar compositions to this that really resonated with me for some reason. Here's another no direction day, where I was just drawing anything that came to my head. but I do like the shadowing that I did on this guy. This one may be quite possibly inspired by Alien plus Metal Slug plus that thing from Metroid that falls from the sky. This one was like a character I used to love drawing. Can't remember her name. Started with an L, but I drew her in high school. I'd come up with this story with a buddy of mine back then named Ben Wong. And we had this really long-running story about a hell that's a planet that invades Earth. I don't think we ever did finish the story, but the characters still live in my mind, and this was one of them. Onto this one. I think I have a love for old pinups. I never really draw them, but I do really love those, like, kind of very cute, a little innocent, not super sexy, but fun poses of women at the beach. And I think this was very much inspired by that. But this woman happens to be also a witch. Techno monk E. A monk, but a monkey, but a gorilla actually, with his robot Wrath of Ashura arms, but finding complete inner peace in the white void of my paper. He's reaching nirvana in a way that humans never did, maybe. This is actually my favorite piece in this sketchpad. I think this could be a really nice to art print. It's listening to some old shoegaze music while I was drawing this. It really reminded me of the first time that I heard, dating myself here, first time I heard My Bloody Valentine on 120 Minutes on MTV, and I think it played from like midnight to 2 a.m. Hence the 120 minutes, 2 hours. And my kid brain, when I heard the first riffs of, I think it's Only Shallow, man, my mind was blown. It reminded me of that time when music felt really magical, and like I felt like, when they have movies and they show the guy and he sees the girl and then his whole head is ablaze, there's stars everywhere, colors in the background, super psychedelic. Strangely, it's also the same kind of stuff effects they show when someone's been punched in the face. Other just stuff falling out of my head. Like dunking over a kid's toy box. Maybe it's the state of the world now. Maybe we are closer to the end. This little fat devil's just super happy about it. And then the last piece. This is something that was knocking around my head for a long time. This little girl in a very ornate seat being accompanied by a shadowy devil. Maybe not a devil, maybe some sort of entity. Maybe he's even an alien. Who knows what he is, but he's definitely not a good guy. But he's hanging out with this girl. She seems pretty okay with it. And that's it. That's the end of my sketchbook tour here. If you stuck out to the end, thanks for joining me while I talk about some drawings in a meandering, nonsensical way. And I hope you watch more of my videos where I'm sketching the stuff that I will eventually talk about later. All right.